And welcome to day 4. And we're going to be visiting Kökar on the Åland Islands. For some reason, my camera has just disappeared, so I do apologize about that, but we'll try to get myself back at the moment. We are today visiting the Åland Islands, and today we're also streaming on Facebook, we're streaming on YouTube, and we're also streaming on our Twitter channel. So please join us on all of those channels. You're very welcome. Also, thank you very much to everyone who has been active this whole week, sending messages in, and also private messages. So you can do that on Messenger. And today we got a message, a group wanting to travel the waterway next year, and to do it the whole way, but also using minibus, and not only walking the whole way, but to do some nice walks and then connect it to minibuses to achieve the whole route in 10 days. Then also a shout out to Lorna, who was, you remember from day one, when we were at Turku Cathedral. So she has just completed the Finnish archipelago part, which is very nice, and also a nice example. She started last year, and she walked the different parts of the path, and ended up in Korpo, which is this island here. You can maybe see on my cursor, and next year she's planning to go to the Åland Islands. I thought we would start this week today with showing you how we've walked. So if you remember, Monday we started at Turku Cathedral. We had some lovely guests there. Then we walked the whole way to the archipelago town of Pargas, where we had food, delicious food at Matmalmen. Then yesterday we carried on over our first ferry here to the island of Biskops. I think my cursor doesn't show very well, but it's here. It's that little island beside the S there. And today we're making another ferry over to the island of Korpo here, and then taking a further ferry over to this beautiful island of Kökar. You can see it, the routes here in the middle of the frame. And then we'll be taking it over to the mainland of Åland, and Esther is waiting for us at the moment in Kökar to show us around the islands of Kökar. Or on our digital maps, you can find them. They give, I think, very good information. We have the different stages of the waterway on here, and on each stage you can divide them up, or you can merge them. So it's not only that you can do this in 6 days, but you can also do it in a little bit longer if you want to, or shorter if you're faster at walking. We've talked a lot about the maps. I'll put the map up again a bit later. the link to the map, but you get very good information, general information about the stage. This is the stage from Nagu to Korpo, for example, the one that we would take before we take the ferry. Or if you're just wanting to do one stage, you can also get the directions here. And then we have very detailed directions and information, how to get to different places, and then also how to move around, and any tips, all the links to the ferries and so on. And then I'd like to show you the map also here. You can see, now you can see my cursor. So this is where we were yesterday on Biskopsö. Maybe our guests from the Alps will laugh a little bit at our curves here, because we have a very flat curve. We're very slim. We don't have very many high mountains. You can see here, for example, this day, highest point, 31 meters. But what's interesting from the curves is that you can see how much is dirt roads. This is very nice farm roads, dirt roads, very easy to walk, very quiet, through beautiful villages. These green are nature paths. Then we have some black, which is a little bit of tarmac, and then the ferries. And you have all the links here as well. I'm sorry, our computer is a little bit laggy today. And then we can also go and, if you want to have some accommodation, stay the night, you can find it either by clicking on the map, or then clicking on the step-by-step directions. And then it comes up with information about the accommodation that you can stay. So here's a bed and breakfast quite close to where we were yesterday. And also this bed and breakfast, you can find the information and the web page, but also we have direct booking links. So it makes it very easy to book the places. So just so you know. But we are in the Åland Islands, and we have Esther here.
Hello.
Hello. Would you like to tell us a little bit about where we are? And I'm not going to try to rescue my camera. I've got two cameras on the go, but neither are working. So over to you, Esther. Yeah.
At first, welcome to the Åland Islands and to Kökar Church. I think I had never seen in this sort of place before. My name is Esther Laurel, and I'm working for the Central Baltic Program, the EU Interreg program that has funded Central Baltic, St. Olav Waterway, and a lot of other interesting projects. Here on Åland, we don't have actually the same good situation as in the Finnish archipelago. The maps are there, but all this accommodation and things you will have to find out a little bit by yourself and by using your contacts. When you come here to Kökar, it takes 2.5 hours with the archipelago ferries from Korpo, and then from Kökar 2.5 hours to the main Åland Island. And across that you can walk, bicycle, or use a bus to come to Eckerö, that is the end point of Åland. You go across the whole main Åland, and then you can go with an Eckerö-linjen to Grisslehamn and to Sweden, and continue the route up to Trondheim and to Norway. What else do you want me to tell, James?
You're a very new inhabitant of Kökar, yes. I believe. So yes. You've just moved there yourself from the main island of Mariehamn, I know. And what is it like to move to an island of, how many inhabitants do you have on Kökar?
240. And for me it was thanks to Corona somehow, because as my work as information officer is to meet people, to travel, to arrange events and meetings, and suddenly everything's dropped. You couldn't do anything. You were just in front of your screen and having contacts with people this way. So I realized I can at last now move to the archipelago, which I have had in my heart for a long time. And also all my kids are grown up and they managed by themselves. So I am free and I can stay here. I'm so happy to be here because I feel very relaxed. I really enjoy this part. And it is for 1 year, as I have got I have 1 year left of my task as for the Central Baltic program.
Okay, great. Well, it's lovely to have you with us, and you organised fantastic weather for us today. It's getting evening, but we did some filming during the day to meet some local people from Kökar. So perhaps we should meet.
James, in the morning there were rain and thunder, but it stopped.
But here I'm sitting in the island of Pargas, and it's a beautiful day. Should we meet Philip now?
Yes.
Okay.
I interviewed Philip on Tuesday, as he was away today, and he is one of those that has been engaged in this project development. And I think St. Olav Waterway has had a large amount of volunteers that have been so engaged and done a lot of good work for this project and for the route.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Okay, let's listen to Philip and then we'll talk a little bit in a moment.
Central Baltic project, St. Olav Waterway, is Philip Hellund. And now we are sitting here by the shore. What can you tell us? Why did you want to be part of this Central Baltic project?
Yeah, I have been always interested in history, and especially in the history of Kökar, because of that here is so many interesting stories and things which have happened in the history. You can think about Hamne, where we are just now, the Franciscan Monastery, and so on.
Have you met some pilgrims here?
Yeah, I have seen this summer at least 10 have visited us this summer.
And how can I come here if I am from abroad? Is it difficult to come to this small remote area?
No, it's not difficult to come here. You probably come by ferry, and you can see the ferry on the opposite side of this. So you come by ferry, and then you have two ways. You can choose two ways, a longer one and a shorter one. If you take the longer one, you go through the village Karlby, and in Karlby you will find a restaurant, hotel, bakery, shop, and so on. And when you continue from Karlby in direction Hamne, then you will pass the settlement from the seal hunters from the Bronze Age, and that's a quite interesting place. When you come to Hamne, you can always choose the western side, and you go along the coast, and then you come to when you see the church, the Saint Anna Church, then you are very close. Then you in the neighborhood you can get your stamp, and you can always walk to the ruins of the Franciscan Monastery. I like to say that Hamne is, you will find that it's a very peaceful and beautiful place. So when you later are thinking about your hike, I'm sure that you will remember Hamne.
So it is indeed. And there we had, just by luck, chut, a very old-fashioned, old-style sailing ship. Thank you, Philip.
And here you can see that the stamp in Kökar is not exactly by the church, but you can find the stamping place close to the parish house that is just here by. On the same area like this Sankt Anna church, but on the opposite when you come by the road.
And isn't it so also that on Kökar there is a special refuge, a very simple refuge for pilgrims that was built?
Yes, but it's not fully completed yet. So unfortunately, you can stay there in summertime, but it's not completed. I really hope that we will get money to make it ready, because it's such a lovely old place to visit, to sit in, and to also sleep in. It will really be needed.
Yeah, and I think we could really feel the peace from that short video. Then
I even heard the birds. That was nice.
Yeah. Again, remember, please comment. Today we have an easier way to show your comment. So Johanna has sent some greetings to both Esther, Philip, and the whole of Kökar. So it's great we can show that to you. I do apologize, or maybe it's good for you. You don't need to look at me today. So for some reason, none of my cameras are working. We tested this earlier on and everything was perfect, but I think that's, as it goes. So isn't it so, I've heard that in Kökar people are very musical, and also Kökar musicians and especially fiddle players are very famous.
Yes, and you will listen to some of those now.
Okay, should we have a listen? So it's the first.
Now they will talk, so perhaps we should have some, but they can talk first and then otherwise we can listen to their music.
Yes. Okay, let's talk to them and we'll listen to the music afterwards.
Yes.
Very nice to listen to folk music from Åland and from Sweden. Gunnar, you have strong roots here on Kökar.
Yeah.
And you are also the chairman of the municipality council.
Yes.
A local politician.
Can say so, yes.
Yes, and you are also some sort of jack of all trades. Just like all these people in the archipelago are, they are doing a lot of things.
Yes.
And what, please tell me, what are you up to?
I can take these 3 days as example. This morning I went with my unmarried wife to take up our nets and get some fish for dinner today. And then I worked with a project from the museum with some painting and so on. And now I'm here with a very good friend playing with violin, fiddle. And tomorrow there is another project with the bird watching, Baltic wings. And day after that we are going with, or I am going with my sailing boat Shoot to an island looking for birds with a little group. So that's a similar day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a similar part of my life.
Yes.
Every day changes.
Yes, different things all the time to get to earn a living and to stay well and to enjoy. But you enjoy your life. That's why you are here, isn't it so?
Yes. Yes, it's a very good life.
And you, when I interviewed Philip, then we saw Chut. So Chut is on another film that we will see. And is that something that you can also provide for visitors and pilgrims who come to Kökar?
Yes, absolutely. We have already done some of those trips. And yes, absolutely. It's an adventure you never forget, I think. Because it's not easy to describe a sailing trip for 1 day in an open boat when you really can feel the wind. You can see maybe the mist. We had mist that day. We went from Korpo to Kökar and so on. So you never know. The last trip we went to Sottunga, it also happened things all the time. So it's not easy to to describe, but
No, and not to predict. You don't know what will happen, but
no.
it's
You
an
maybe have
experience.
to row.
Yeah, just like in the
Or
old
something.
times.
Yes.
Uh,
And I have also square sail, like the Vikings,
okay,
so it's not so usual today.
okay, interesting.
So people on board have to help me all the time, steering and take some ropes and so on.
Exactly. And what would you like to, what do you always take with you when you go on a trip or a walk or a journey? What is your object?
I like to look at birds, so I take this one.
Binoculars.
Yes, and to not get the sun in the eyes, I take this one.
Excellent.
But now we are in the church, so I think
I take that one. Yeah, thank you. And Paul, you moved to Kökar when you got a pension. Please tell me.
I wanted to come out to the archipelago 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago. But when me and my wife got retired, we moved here for 11 years ago. And we are very, very fond of Kökar.
You said here before, why didn't I come earlier? It was your spontaneous comment when I asked you why.
It was very difficult to get 2 teachers in a little archipelago school.
Yeah.
And therefore we.
You had to wait.
Yeah.
What is the best thing with Kökar, according to you?
I think it's the nature and the surrounding sea. I'm sailing very much every summer and also with Gunnar we are skating winter time. But it has not been any ice last year.
We'll see what happened this year.
Yeah.
And Paul, what would you always take with you when you go on a trip or on a walk outside?
I think that I have also my binoculars when I'm out to see birds, but I can travel, I can go walk, and I'm very fond of walking in the nature, and then you have not to have so much equipment.
Perhaps a water bottle or something like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have very fond memories of sailing with Gunnar, and just as he described, we had one day a bit stormy, so good sailing weather, and another day it was fantastic, beautiful sunshine, very warm. It was in the spring, lots of migrating birds, but no wind, so we had to row. But we rowed the whole way between Kökar and Sottunga, which we're going to see later. But it was such a fun day. We had a really nice time, and he's a very talented musician, so we sang and he played some songs, so it was lovely. They mentioned the music there. How is it really on Åland? Because in many parts of the world, you know, traditional music is mainly for older people.
Well, at least Gunnar told me that there had been a lot of youngsters playing, but it's a little bit difficult nowadays because it's also the music schools, how much they can afford to give courses out in the archipelago to support and encourage young people to play. So they didn't have so many youngsters right now.
Could you also just briefly tell about one of the great things on Åland is that there's been so many volunteers that have been putting out the marks for St. Olav Waterway, And they've been using these big wooden poles, so it's been a lot of work. But also there's been an incredible amount of local pilgrims, which we haven't seen in the other part. Maybe here between Turku and Korpo, which is on the Finnish side, we've had a lot of visitors and international visitors. But you've really had a lot of community pilgrimages.
Yes, it's often somebody that starts it, and here it has been Maria Widén that has been the one that has started with these church walks, to walk to the churches. And she is also the one that has started with pilgrimage and retreats, or started, but at least get many in. And it has been really good to feel that people are interested, they want to come. I don't know, I don't remember exactly how many there are, but more than 100, 200 in this church walk group, open group. And we were about 20 volunteers, and it was just a question out on Facebook, will you come and help us mark this route? So it was really, really encouraging, because the problem here on Åland is that we don't have any lead organization that is responsible for the maintenance of this route. So we have 8 municipalities and 6 parishes that uses this which hosts this route on small Åland. So in that sense, we still need some cooperation and some solution for a long time, or we need a long time solution.
Yeah. That's great. But it's been a fantastic thing. Just an apology, we have on our YouTube channel, we don't have any text, and we don't have it on our sending program, but I see that on Facebook, it's giving automatic text, and sometimes they're not exactly what we've been saying, so apologize. But remember, you can chat to us both on Twitter, you can chat to us on YouTube, and you can chat to us on Facebook. So Kylie writes många hälsningar. And Kökar is her favorite place. So you're very welcome, and very nice you're joining us on YouTube as well. Is it time for some music? What do you think?
Yes, I think the Anna, is it the Anna? We'll see, we'll listen.
Yeah, it's Anna. Do you want to tell something about it, or?
No.
Okay.
Ja, nu ska vi spela Annas visa.
No, I can't hear anything. I can't hear the music. Can you, James?
Okay. I can hear it, but
Okay.
let's see. We'll start the music again. I don't know. It's great if you could tell us if you can, if you don't hear it. Esther couldn't hear the music, but we will try it again. And it just takes me a little while before I can set it up, and I hope you can hear it. But please, if you don't hear the music, then please tell us.
Oh, that was beautiful. Can you tell us something about the song?
Excuse me.
Can you tell us about the song?
No, not more than that they said it was a Swedish song called Anna's Song, and it suited them. According to them, they really wanted to play it here in the church as it's Anna's church.
Okay, that's great. How have we're next one to meet a hotel owner, and obviously bed and breakfast and hotel places and cottages. It's very important for our visitors. How active are the hotel owners on Kökar and Åland? Have they been? Are they eager to take pilgrims?
Yes, I think so. We have not yet got this the same nice system as you have, that everybody is got, but we have informed and we have discussed, and there are a lot of people that have ideas about how to support pilgrims, although they know that they will not be rich on those, because of course it's also about money for the hotel owners and in the tourist sector. So sometimes people have said it's expensive here on Åland. You will have to pay quite much. So it's good if there are different alternatives. But it's nice to listen to Natalie, because she has done something for pilgrims.
That's right, and isn't it so also that Natalie has moved to Kökar, to your very small island?
Yes.
So as a young woman.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Perhaps should we listen to Natalie now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I understood. I think that it worked for everyone else, the music before, but there was some connection.
I will not interrupt anymore.
Yeah, well, there was a connection problem maybe with Kökar, but anyway, great. Let's listen to Natalie.
Hi. You are the hotel manager here of Rudhäll.
Yes, I am.
But you didn't plan to be a hotel manager.
Not at all. I studied bioscience and planned to be a scientist. But accidentally, I jumped on a summer job here 7 years ago on my way back from a trip. And now, since 4 years back, together with 5 friends, we run this whole place.
And it's not only a hotel?
It's not. We have a restaurant and guest harbor as well.
And how many beds do you have?
We have 42 beds in 21 rooms. You can stay 1 to 6 people in the same room, and also rent just a bed in a 4-people room.
And that would be suitable for the pilgrims?
Exactly. That's just with pilgrims in mind.
You have been one yourself, I heard.
Yes, in Spain.
Yeah.
Along the Camino.
Yes.
And then I realized that it's just in the hostels that you actually get to know other people, and then you meet them again along the road, and suddenly you know each other very well.
It's a total different world that opens for you.
It is.
And as you are also running the restaurant, please can you tell me about things that are special that you want visitors and pilgrims to taste when they come to Kökar?
Yes, we have so many fine products on Kökar. We have apple products, apple cider and salsa. We have the local fish, perch, which is a very popular delicacy. And then, of course, my own favorite, the heather honey, made from Kökar heather. You can't get any better honey anywhere.
I have to taste. I haven't tasted that yet. And then you have this bread, this Kökar bread that I really love, the best black bread, as it's called in Swedish, that I know of.
Exactly. That's very tasty as well.
And if people don't want to stay in a hotel, where else can they stay when they come to Kökar?
can choose to stay in a guest house. There is a couple different. There is Anton's guest house and klubbars. And then you have camping sites with cabins and places for tents. You have Sandvik and Havspaviljongen.
So there are many different options.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you are out on a walk or out on a journey, what do you always take with you?
Oh, always have way too many pens and a piece of paper, just for those ideas that pop into mind and that you just need to remember.
Is there something else that you want to tell visitors abroad?
Oh, Kökar and the Åland archipelago is such a beautiful and magical place, and it's difficult to explain that feeling before you actually set your foot here. So I hope to see you in the future.
Thank you.
Well, I think you've sold the idea of Kökar today. It looks wonderful. Many visitors in the future. Natalie, she was then at the site of the old monastery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you like-
Being a new inhabitant here, it's very interesting to listen and learn more about the history. And the monastery is special. If you see, as you could see on the map there, Kökar, small island in the middle of nowhere with a monastery. Wow.
Yeah, I've heard that Kökar people have called or said that they have been the center of the Baltic Sea in the past.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Perhaps
there's
at least during this certain period of time. Yes.
yeah.
Yes, as here, we will listen to Kenneth Gustafsson, and he will. Yes, here you show some sort of the nature that is outside the monastery and the ruins left, and the church will soon come. Yeah, here is the church. That's where I'm sitting right now, inside there, and there is the tower, and behind that is the open sea. That's just so amazing. You can see it from the ferry also.
And I think it's one of the best sunsets, at least in the Åland Islands and maybe in many parts of Europe. It's
Yes.
lovely out to the west there.
And
yeah.
Thanks to this other Baltic Wings project, there has been a ramp that you can go even if you are with a wheelchair or so. You can go out on the rock and look at the sunset or nature or birds or whatever. That's very precious also to increase the accessibility for people to come near to nature.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And then do we have our last video or last guest?
Yes, so is it Kenneth?
Time for Kenneth, yes.
Yeah, it just will take me. He started to talk, but only to me and not to you. So it will just take me a couple of minutes. So who is Kenneth? Could you tell us?
He will introduce himself. Yes.
Ah, okay.
Because yeah.
Okay, great. So here's Kenneth.
Yes. Kenneth, welcome.
Thank you.
And who are you? What are you?
Basically, I'm an archaeologist. I'm born in Kökar. I studied in Stockholm. I made my PhD in Stockholm in 98, I should say. And I've been working in Ålands Museum in Mariehamn for most of my career. And today I mostly work with modern history, and I'm a docent in Nordic history in Åbo Academy University.
Yes.
But I have my background and my should say point in the life here in Kökar.
Yes, and you are perhaps the one that knows most about the old history of Kökar.
Perhaps, yes.
If you had been working here for 20 years, digging in the ground and so on, or
yes.
what you can say.
Yeah.
And where are we now?
We are in a small house called, from the beginning called Klosterkällaren, which means monastery cellar. Because on this little island here on the side of Kökar, Hamnö, it means harbor island. In the late Nordic Middle Ages, from around 1450, there was a Franciscan monastery, or rather Franciscan convent, as they call it, here on this place. And they also had a stone cellar for storing food and other goods. So there is the ruin of this cellar. And I think it was in 1979, this roof was built over it to protect it. And we have an exhibition here about the history of this monastery and the island. We have the church of today, besides outside here. And this is also a chapel with an altar on the north side and so on. So this is a very interesting place, and as you said, I've been excavating here for quite a long, not now, but earlier.
Earlier, yes. What is otherwise? It was not so common with any. Is there any other island monasteries?
Only one if you take Sweden and Finland.
Yeah.
As you know, was one country in the Middle Ages. There's one place in southeast Sweden where there was a monastery or convent on an island.
Yeah.
But the Franciscan order, there was a clear order of cities, because the monks, the brothers, they should live very poorly and live on gifts from other people. So they needed a lot of people around them.
Yeah.
But here they placed their new convent on an island far out in the sea.
Yeah, it's very strange. But you have an idea of why it was so? Was it somehow bait with fishery?
Yes, it's not only me, but other also have said it. For the first, there was older sailing routes around Kökar. One early mentioned by the end of the 13th century, the so-called Valdemar's sailing route from the King Valdemar Sayer in Denmark. He never went here, but the description of this waterway is in one of his books. And Kökar is mentioned as one of the harbors in the Åland area.
Yeah.
And there are other sailing routes coming by here in the late Middle Ages. That is one reason why. And the other one is fishing. And you know, from the mid 1500s, during Gustav Vasa, where there's a lot of tax record preserved, that there was a lot of fishing in the Kökar area, something called Mörkärsfiske, Mörskär fishing. Mörskär is an island about 20 kilometers from here.
Yes, and it seems so far away. And you said that there were up to 600 people at the same time there?
No, I said that they were fishing twice a year, in August and in late September. And from Kastelholm Castle, they send out people every year so they could count how many boats are fishing in this area. But every boat should get a tax in form of fish. And in 1549, that is just after the medieval period, in the summer there were over 180 boats, and in the autumn 294 boats.
Yeah.
If you think 2, 3, 4 people in every boat, there's perhaps up to 1,000 people fishing in the area.
Very many in a small island.
So the sailing routes and the fishing, we think that's why the Franciscans came here. But of course there must have been some activity in the area before that. They didn't go to an isolated island just like that. So the first church, we think, was built in the 14th century, by the end of the 14th century. And then came the Franciscans around 1450 and founded a real Franciscan convent. They took over the church and built their houses around. So this stone cellar is one part of the convent's building.
Well, but and then we have other history of Kökar, lots of interesting history that you know about, but we don't have time for it now. but you can come on, or you are listening, if you can come on Saturday here to Kökar, then you will listen to Kenneth when he talks about the Bronze Age, an old site called Otterböte. Yes, but that is we will leave it for now.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, what is the most common misunderstanding of the history of Kökar?
There's a lot of misunderstandings.
Yeah.
For one thing, people think that there's no trees here. They have seen old pictures from 1900, and it's completely bare, all the hills and rocks. But today the trees have grown up. Another thing is, people think that the Franciscans that came here, they came from Italy, and I heard they came from Spain and Catalonia. But that's not true, because the Franciscan order was divided into different areas. So the Nordic countries, they were one area, Dacia. So they took their brothers, who wanted to join the Franciscan order. They came from Sweden, perhaps Finland, perhaps Kökar. So they had normal Nordic Swedish names.
Yes, that was new for me. So I am glad I have listened to you.
Yeah, they were not from Italy.
No. And then I have only 2 short questions left. The first one is, which is your favorite place here on Kökar?
I guess my home, I think.
That's a good. And the second and my last question is, as James has asked of everybody participating in his live sending from this virtual pilgrim route, what do you always take with you when you are out on a tour, on a journey?
I should say 2 things: money and my phone.
That's good. Thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you.
Very practical advice there from Kenneth, I think. Yeah, really nice. We've been talking a lot about Kökar. I wonder, should we mention your neighboring island of Sottunga? Because Sottunga is also very special, and it's, I don't know, it could, maybe it's at least the smallest municipality in Finland, but perhaps, how many people live there?
About 9.
It's very small.
Yeah. But I listened to Björn Rönnlöv last week, and he told me about their cooperation with other municipalities, how they cooperate, do services, exchange positions that they need, and so on. So, and we were walking together, and it was really nice to see the Sottunga trail also of St. Olav Waterway.
I think it's very, very charming. It's different. Kökar is very rocky and I mean beautiful, but very rugged. And then Sottunga, it's more cultural. I mean, cultural landscapes and very cute villages. So it's actually, I normally recommend to people that they stop in both islands if they can. And I know with the ferry between Kökar and Sottunga, it's possible to do even a day trip to Sottunga.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's quite small and
bed and
compact.
breakfast if you want to stay overnight.
Yeah. Should we have a quick look at Sottunga?
Yes.
So.
And it's from our walk last week. Then we also had a fellow filming us.
A very close, short look. So, yeah, that's great. I do apologize. Every day this week, something has gone wrong. Today, 2 cameras have broken about 5 minutes before we went live. And now my mouse has decided to change the keys the opposite way. So, you know, the left and right buttons. So I don't know. I think it's Olav here who is doing some magic against me.
Yeah.
Um,
But you have managed well. And it has been
Okay,
nice to listen to all the previous programs and sendings. And I really also look forward to tomorrow to Trondheim. It will be nice to listen to Norwegian. Perhaps Norwegians at least.
At least English with a Norwegian accent. And I know you've been to Trondheim and you've had a very special task in Trondheim. So it's great. I can maybe also say that you were not part of the group or the project that developed St. Olav Waterway, but you were actually from the organization that financed us, Central Baltic. Although now we have financing from the Finnish Ministry of Culture, but you supported us in a very nice way, and we became very involved in the project. And when we had our first pilgrimage, which took 60 days, and carrying the message of friendship and peace from the Archbishop of Turku and Finland to the Archbishop of Trondheim, you were the person who actually delivered it to Trondheim. So you carried it the last week. How was that?
For the last day, because we were in a group and we shared it. But the last, otherwise, when I am walking, I have been hooked on pilgrimage thanks to this project. I didn't do it before, but I really wanted to be present and listen to my own thoughts, just walk, and I wanted often to go as the last person, just to keep some distance to people and just walk and think and relax. But when the last day before we came to Trondheim, we walked 160 kilometers from Sweden over the mountains to Trondheim. Then I realized that now I am on a journey where people have went generations before me. They have been here 1,000 years. Thousands of people have walked this route to Trondheim, to Nidaros. And it was very touching. And when we came to the church, we walked the last path in silence. And then our guide showed us a place on the wall from outside where the pilgrims often put their hand. And when I put my hand there, I started to cry. Because I felt that I am one in this long, long chain of people that come here from different reasons, and it was really strong. And then in the Olaf Mess, in the middle of the night, I had the honor to deliver the budstikke to the Princess Helga with a message and a greeting from the Finnish Archbishop, and also a greeting from St. Olav Waterway as Olav's Way's smaller sister. Because Olav Ways, there are thousands of kilometers, different Olav Ways that all goes to Norway, to Trondheim, and now St. Olav Waterways was the eastern part, eastern smaller sister.
And you got also a lovely present from the cathedral, which we can maybe briefly mention because it has a link to what we did on Monday this week.
It was quite interesting. I was invited to a ceremony at the Archbishop's place the next day, and I went there, and then I got a message that you will get a heavy gift. And then, of course, I thought of a big book, these very beautiful books about Nidaros. But I got a stone. I got a real stone from the dome that has been replaced during this restoration. And I got 8 kilo of stone from the Nidaros Dome to take back to Turku to give to the archbishops as a gift back from Norway. And it should be the starting point, or the Hörnsten in the new pilgrimage center of Finland, the first one that will start in Turku, as you met and listened to Anna-Stina Papino-aho in the first evening from Turku.
And in a way, we could maybe say that it's partly, a very small part anyway, thanks to the stone, that now Turku is also starting the pilgrimage center. So it's great. And it's lovely, Esther, that you have been part of it. So both part of the beginning and then the end. And it's also going to carry on and expanding in Finland. I put some links up, the link to our own webpage, St. Olav Waterway, and then also to the official St. Olav Ways in Norway, pilgrimsleden.no. So there you can find the other pilgrim routes. But I think now we're running a little bit out of time. We've been going now for 57 minutes. Thank you so much, Esther, and thank you to your guests. It's been fantastic seeing them. I think we'll at least link somewhere either put the individual videos up on our YouTube channel, or then we'll put a link somewhere. So if someone wants to listen, for example, to more music or the very interesting history of Kökar, they'll be able to listen to that again, both on this live video clip and then on the shorter video clips.
Yes.
So, yeah. So perhaps, yes.
You often ask what you take with me. I take a small bag with me when I travel. I have my rucksack, and then I have this one in front of me, where I can have my camera and my drinking water bottle.
Okay.
And now it's time for Kökar skänklåt. Yes, and skänklåt, that is the music that they play when they are having a wedding and the food is brought in. So now you can imagine you are on a Kökar wedding out in the archipelago, and you will soon eat something lovely. Good Kökar food.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Thank you so much, Esther. I'm sure many people are going to visit Kökar because it's a wonderful island. Tomorrow, we're making a big leap. We're going to leap the whole way to Trondheim. And we're going to have a live view of some of the last steps towards Trondheim Cathedral. And we're going to get a short guided tour in the cathedral. There is a concert on the go at the same time, so we have a little bit of music. And then we're also going to meet two of the people who work with St. Olav Ways, the route manager of St. Olav Ways. But thank you so much for being with us tonight, and let's listen to Kökar skänklåt. Thank you and good night.
Nu ska vi spela Kökar skänklåt, som brukar spelas när maten bärs in på bröllop.